How did your Thursday and Friday appointments go, Nicole?
Good. I
Good.
think so. Yeah, I'm on my way to, like, officially. I got a buyer broker agreement signed for the
Yay.
Friday, and that one might take some time, being that they kind of have to buy, sell, or whatever, the contingent. But and then the listing one on Thursday, I'm going there today too, and I think it's going really well. So maybe we'll be listed within, I don't know, maybe a month or so, depending on how much work they decide to do and how fast.
Good.
Yeah, so it's kind of exciting.
I'm excited for you.
Real clients.
Hard work is paying off, right?
You know, not like fake ones or ones that are my friends that say, oh yeah, we're going to do something in 6 months or a year.
You earned these ones, right?
I did, because I got them from my own open house, my own asking, follow-up, like totally myself.
Good.
So it feels good, you know?
Good. Yes.
But
good for
nothing's
you.
Done until it's sold,
Absolutely.
paid.
Well, you got over this little hurdle, though, of just, making it this
Yeah.
far with, 2 people. So good for you.
Yeah. No, I just have to figure out how to really do paperwork and like all that good stuff and not drive Dan too crazy.
Well, I think once again, it's just a learning curve. Once you get over that hurdle, it'll be easy peasy after that. So
I think so, because it's like after the first time of doing stuff, or whatever.
Well, especially when it comes to the paperwork, there's so many lines and all of that. So
yeah, and I'm sure then things change. Like every situation is separate, so you kind of learn. Yeah, but I am excited. Thanks for asking.
Good. Yeah, I thought about you this weekend. So
yeah, thanks. I'm just glad it's done too, because now I just feel like, okay, another hurdle's over, you know?
Yes.
So I was so nervous about doing open houses in the beginning, and now it's like, those are easy.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm here now. It only took 15 minutes to get connected to the internet at the office, so if you have to work at the JV office, don't. We're having critical issues with the Wi-Fi. I may be leaving here shortly to go work from home because I can't deal with this internet connectivity shit today.
What about hotspot on your phone?
Well, if I use the hotspot on my phone, it delays incoming phone calls and texts, which is something I need as well. So.
Oh.
I remember when dial-up was a thing. Gosh.
So do I.
Yeah.
I jumped in and heard a little bit about talking about how Nicole is doing paperwork and stuff like that. I apologize that I missed out on the first 4 minutes of this, and I'm glad it's recorded. I'll go back and touch on it. But like you said, Nicole, earlier you were talking about how the open houses were scary for you, but now they're easy.
Yeah.
Just like every time you ask me a question, what do I respond with? Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Even though I've done it a million times, the ability for me to break it down to a simple format is what makes it easy. I understand the basics to it. And that kind of brings me to the concept of today is how can we take our real estate jargon, comps, CMAs, title reports, prelims, prequals, all of these terms that we use every day interchangeably in our brains, and relate them to a client so that the client understands what the hell we're talking about. How do you describe a CMA to someone?
Well, just comparing other houses that sold compared to yours.
Compared to yours, okay. Anyone else? I got a lot of blank screens. Hey, Miss Robin. I didn't start off right. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Maura. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Letha. Hi, Shoshana. All right. They have no reason not to respond. There we go.
Good morning.
How else would you describe it?
I'd like to show you the current value of other homes in your neighborhood that are similar to yours and what they've sold for and how that compares to your house.
There you go. Very relatable. You know, here's a report of information based on the houses that have sold around yours that are similar to yours, which justify the value to the market of your home. The CMA is our anchor of the price, right? This is the comparative market analysis is just that. It's a document that we designed to create some barrens of proof to how we're going to price this home. So I want you guys to realize how simple you can make it. Genius is the ability to take the complex and make it simple. It really is. That's where I want you to kind of master that sentence. Now, what about a prequal?
Like just knowing where you're at and what you can afford.
Okay.
A document stating, backing you up.
Why do I need a prequal?
To know how much to go look at houses, where to start.
A pre-qualification letter, you want to make sure you say the full term. A pre-qualification letter is a document that we get from the lender after you've had a discussion with them that outlines what we can shop for. It lets the other parties, the sellers, know that you have done your due diligence or your job in securing finance for this house.
You can't even put in an offer without a pre-qualification letter. And
No,
a
you cannot.
pre-qualification and a pre-approval letter are two totally different animals. A pre-approval letter holds more weight.
Yep. So you guys understand it goes pre-qual, then pre-approved. Pre-approved means doesn't matter what house you buy, you got cash to spend. So, because when you're talking to buyers, you're like, hey, I need you to talk to my lender and get a pre-qual. You're talking a lot of jargon. Not saying that you're doing it, but it does happen. We do have these conversations, and we forget that we have jargon that we use every day in real estate that does not translate directly into the civilian market, if you will, into consumers' heads. And it's stuff as simple as a CMA or, your BINSR. BINSR's an acronym. What's it stand for? Not Robin. You're muted, Miss Nicole.
I forget actually what it.
Buyer inspection notification of, oh God,
Close.
it's it's for the disclosure.
Yeah, buyer
Agreement.
inspection needs seller's response.
Yes, okay, right.
So a BINSR is an acronym for a buyer's inspections that needs a seller's response. It's a document that outlines that we have done our inspections on the house and we are giving the seller the opportunity to remedy or correct the items that we disapprove of. We need the seller's response. So when we talk about—
And that's mandatory, required?
Not mandatory, highly incentivized.
Okay.
Nothing's mandatory because they don't have to do an inspection. There's a part on the BINSR form that they can check and sign that they are waiving their right to an inspection. The due diligence period, the entire section 6 is going to outline that they can do their due diligences and all the stuff that they get to do. So these are terms that we want to overview. What about, I'm trying to see how most people call it, the title report or the prelim?
Commitment? Title
The
commitment?
commitment, preliminary title report, the commitment, prelim. What about all those?
Tells us if there's any clouds in the title.
Okay, well, tell me as a consumer, how do you break that down into consumer brains? Not real estate, first time, I just got out of college, I can barely open a door, but I can use a cell phone.
Well, I see here in section B that there's an issue. They've got the seller's name also has a joint tenancy with this person, and yet we only have access to this person because they're saying this person's dead, so they need to present a death certificate in order to eliminate the other person off the title in order to move forward, type thing. Yeah, there's clouds on the title. The clouds have to be cleared up.
Can I break it down simply? You lost me a little bit.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
All right. A preliminary title, a preliminary title report or a title commitment, right? What is it at a basic, like simple? How do we simplify it?
Like who has legal ownership of the property?
There you go. That's part. So we get this document from title, which this is me telling a consumer, hey, this is our document from title. It's called preliminary title report. It is a document that shows who's got ownership, what liens and outstanding debts are against the house, and any concerns that we may need to hedge out before we go to closing.
And on the timeline, where does that go on the timeline again?
You're supposed to get it somewhere between, opening escrow and closing.
Okay.
And then the buyers have 5 days to review and cancel if they disapprove of something on there. But being able to understand what it does, you don't have to get into the weeds. Well, on section 6B17, page 33, you don't. Overview. This is a preliminary title report. This is just a document from the title company, who owns the house, any outstanding debts or liens against it, as well as anything that we may need to hedge out before closing. And then you could tell them, if you want to turn to section 2B, this line here, this is what it shows. Everything else on there is normal except for this. Being able to break it to the simple, right? Let's give it a shot. Nicole, what is it? What's a title report?
Just to see who owns the house, who owns the title,
Okay.
who's on the property.
What else?
Sorry.
No,
All right.
go ahead.
Jump in. Someone else, jump in.
I was going to say, is it owned free and clear?
It's
Yep,
who's the legal owner of the property? What are the other two things? The legal owner of the property.
Liens.
Okay, any outstanding liens or debts.
They have the right to sell it.
Well, that's covering the first one. Who's the owner?
Okay, I'm sorry.
So we've got who's the legal owner of the property, any outstanding liens or debts against it, and
Any easements or other information that's gonna benefit or affect this property.
right. And you can break that down because Robin works in the world of title and in parcels. Any other items of concern that we need to hedge out before closing? And which includes, and Robin's 100% right, easements, and there are some things that benefit the new buyer. So it's those three things. It shows who the legal owner is, any outstanding liens or debt against the house, and it lets us know what items of concern we need to hedge out before closing. Now, do you have a better understanding of what it is versus just a title report, a prelim? Now, if you call it a commitment, you could throw in that fourth part is what's the commitment part of it?
The title insurance, that they're committing to provide the insurance on the title, that the legal ownership is protected.
Okay. So I'm lost at all this. What is title insurance? What happens? How do I use it? If I crash my house?
So the title company is ensuring that the seller has the right to convey the property to you and that there's no outstanding interests that would affect their ability to convey this property to you.
Very cool. I like the way you guys catch on to that.
So the seller has the title insurance.
No, the seller is issuing it. The seller
Or
is paying for the title. Yeah, the seller pays for the title insurance because, as Robin just outlined, it is the commitment on the behalf of the title company to ensure that the seller has legal right to sell the property and will protect you for the total loan amount in the event that there is an unrecorded interest in the property that precedes yours. there really isn't a way to break that more simply down until someone says, what do you mean by unrecorded interests? Which means somebody has legal ownership of that house that we didn't know about. And they can prove it. So let's recap. First off, we've got our pre-qual, right? Pre-qualification letter. What is it?
Tells us how much we can spend.
There you go. At a basic, how much can we spend? That's the letter from the bank letting us know that we've already issued some information to them so they feel comfortable letting us know that we can go shopping for this much house. And from there, we move on into inspections, and then we need a BINSR. What does BINSR stand for? Let me ask Amber or Cindy that just jumped on the call. Do you guys know what the acronym BINSR stands for?
Buyer's inspection statement.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
No, I know this.
I know it's like a buyer inspection
Statement, something statement.
report.
Buyer inspection needs seller's response.
Thank you. That's what it
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah, it was right on
Okay.
the tip of my tongue.
It's all right. It's just one of those things, but I want you to be able to break it down simply. What is it? What is a BINSR?
Mhm.
Buyer
You're
inspection
requesting
notice
the
seller report.
You're asking the seller to fix X, Y, and Z.
Even simple. I like it. Super simple. Those of you who jumped on a little late, we're going over how we can change normal real estate jargon into something a consumer can actually digest and understand. So, BINSR, buyer inspection needs seller's response. All this is a form that lets the sellers know that we've done our inspections and we're giving them the chance to remedy the items that we disapprove of. We're asking them to fix X, Y, and Z. So,
But then seller doesn't have to agree to all that though. Then what?
I love it. I like that. And then what? We're going to script around that entire conversation too. I love that. If the buyer says no, then what?
Seller says no.
And then what?
You can accept it or you can get out of the contract.
There you go.
Those are your two options.
Yep.
You want to make it simple, right? Every buyer wants to know, and I've had this conversation. I got 3 times this weekend, agents asking me, if it's a cash deal and there's no appraisal and it's sold as is, can the buyer get out?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What if the house is sold as is?
This
Still
buyer still has their due diligence to find out what's wrong with it, to find out what kind of repairs
Or what does due diligence mean?
basically they're accepting a house as is. However, they still want to know what's wrong with it
I'm your
and
buyer.
figure out how much it's going to cost to repair it, and it may not be repairable.
Mm-hmm. May not be worth it to them.
As a buyer, are they going to know what due diligence means?
No.
Oh,
So again, another jargon term that we use all the time. How do we break due diligence down?
Taking the time to what matters, what means to you most about the property, and trying to figure out what you need in order to buy the property. And when you buy the property, are you accepting it as is? And as is means you cannot ask the seller for any repairs.
Holy crack in the wall.
I don't know. I probably could do better than that, but
You're
that's the way
basically doing,
Go ahead, Cindy.
I was just going to say, it's kind of like doing your own little investigation process.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Thank you.
You got to find out how it's simple. It's just checking out what's important to you about the house.
Yeah. If it's too much to do, you might not want to go forward.
It may not. Is due diligence all about repairs or damages?
No.
What does it also include?
It's basically a property verification.
HOA, property verification. I heard neighborhood,
Permitting.
Airport,
airport. Due
flood
diligence
zone.
in a simple thing is, as a buyer, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, as buyers, it's on you and your responsibility to go check out everything about this house. It's
Mhm.
including the neighborhood, the crime rates, the airport, the travel times, the cost of ownership, any repairs that are needed. It's
You know
really-
what? I learned moving into my house. No, but this area is a hotbed for valley fever. I had my dog for 2 months and he got it, like just from hanging out in my backyard.
Wow.
I didn't know that that was something that I should have considered thinking about. But if you have health problems and this is something, you know, that you might be, that's something that could definitely go into this.
Oh, interesting.
Buyer advisory.
Yes.
It's your investment. You need to educate yourself on it, you know, what you're going to get out of it. So,
buyer advisory. Buyer beware. That's a term everybody knows.
Mhm.
So, buyer beware. This is a document that tells you all the scary things that can happen in real estate. Check them out and the resources to do so. Too often, I hear that buyers didn't even know what they were signing. Is that true?
Well, I'm sure.
You know where that complex comes from?
Us not explaining.
Well,
it.
yeah. Go back to the agent.
Yeah, Mara's right. Us not explaining it and or the agent not knowing either.
Hence
So-
why it's scary to be a new agent.
No, it's not scary to be new age. It's exciting because you have to lean into the process, lean into the sport, and absolutely without any doubt on the term at all, do not, and I do repeat loudly, do not bullshit your way through it.
No.
Raise your hand and say, I don't know what I'm doing. I need some help. And then come practice. And then, bam, we're on this call, just us girls and Jacob. Very strange. If you notice, it's very strange. It's just Jacob and myself always. I love it. The weird thing is y'all are making money. So if you practice and understand it, but you have to be able to break it down. Scripting is able to take complex ideas and mechanics of vocabulary and break them down into a mnemonic device that you can utilize to gain the highest and best conversion of your conversations. That was a very
Holy moly.
detailed way of saying using powerful language gets powerful results.
That was a mouthful, Dan.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, I've been doing this a long time, so my brain understands those things, but my brain also
True.
goes, okay, this is difficult as shit to understand.
Yep.
I need to make it simple. So for you as an agent, I want you to think the same way. Just because you get it and you're like, yeah, I get it, you will get a lot more joy and love from your clients if you're able to break it down to small, bite-sized, easy, digestible things. Where you come on in, Scott. So being able to break those things down makes life easy. What's up, Bubba?
Bring that back.
Well, thank you. Say hi to our morning scripters.
Hey, scripters. What is up?
Mr. Anderson in the building.
So, for a minute.
For a minute, yeah. Get on like that, brother. Tell the kids to sit down.
You got binders here?
She should at the front desk. Caitlin has them. Or if they're not, Kayla has them in her office and Caitlin can get you one. So thanks, Bubba.
Have a good one.
But I want you to think about when you first got in the business or when you bought your house yourself, was there anything that was confusing as hell to you? And it's usually those three things: lending, inspections, and title.
I just bought new construction.
Yeah, you look at the document, sign here. Okay, this is where your house is going to sit. This is where you're going to put a tree. And they sit you down and have a meeting, right? They have a sit-down meeting with you, and they go over everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get done, they walk you through the house. You're going to have an outlet here and an outlet here and a switch here. They literally break it down to the most juvenile level, because what they have found out on the big scale is when they're selling new homes is people want to know the nitty-gritty, but they want to understand it. So in real estate, when you're scripting, ask yourself, can everybody understand this statement? If you look at the scripts we give and we talk about, they all go around the same line. They're easy to understand. They're easy to replicate. They're easy to make your own. So scripting is not always just in the negotiations or in a lead generation, it's a big part of it. Scripting can also be how you discuss things in detail with your clients through the process, before the process, after the process. So
And I was going to share that one of our best teachers, she does our continuing education, Teresa Barnaby, talked to us about making a video of our disclosures. And I'm like, that's a great idea. She was encouraging us to do video anyway. What do we have out on YouTube? How are we building our brand? And she's like, why not do a little video of each disclosure? And then you could share it with your client. That way you'd only have to do it once. I mean, not really, but you could still push it out to people and they could look at it extra time. And then you could go again. And anyway, I just thought it was a really cool idea.
How would that be? You're a new agent and you get your first client and they say, yes, I would love you to help me buy a house. And you put them on a smart plan and it sends them an email. And it says, hey, thank you so much for inviting me to be your agent. I'm excited to be part of your journey with you. I want you to check out some of these resources here that are going to help you through the process. Buyer advisory, click the link. Video. Hey, this is the buyer advisory. This is a document that goes over all the scary things that happen in real estate. I want you to be educated and understand the resources available to you in the event that you need to find out some information. After all, it is going to be your responsibility to do the homework on the house.
That's good.
Now, how helpful is that going to be if somebody goes through? Can you tell that I've said that a couple of times?
Yeah.
If you're able to, and I love Mara's statement on that, I would love for you to make a video series. Everybody has a Gmail account. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't have a Gmail account, you have a Google Suite email with KW. Your KW email is a Google email. So you can create a YouTube based on your KW channel and have just a video series, 1.5 minute, 2 minute long each session, just going over each document.
And maybe we need a how-to also to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, can we do that?
How to make a video or how to log into Google? I mean, how simple do we make it?
No, we need to know like step by step. And by we, I mean I.
Know your
Yeah,
KW.
me too.
Step 1, know your KW email. Step 2, know your password, your KW email. Step 3, go to Google. Gmail.com. Put in your KW email, put in that password, hit enter. Or log in, whatever it says. That gives you access to your Gmail. Okay?
Yeah.
We
got that part.
Okay. From there, take your camera out. Cell phone, tripod, Zoom, and record yourself talking about those documents. And I'm not going to go and break down how to record yourself. There is a barrier of entry that you guys need to get through, okay? And it's called Find the Red Button. But then go through this. In 1, it's the best way to hear how you sound. And 2, solidifying the way you talk. Because you're going to understand, 1, the documents at a high level, but also how you look and sound explaining them. We've said this many, many months ago, and I haven't said it in a while. What's more important than what you say?
How you say it.
How you say
it. How you say it. Tonality is 70% of communication. If I tell you, good morning, you look very pretty today, right? The words may be the same words, but they just don't have the same delivery.
Sir, yes, sir.
Right. So now let's break it down. How do we change our tone? How do we slow things down? I mean, we're definitely at 8:30 right now, but this is a great conversation. I really miss, and Mara was around for some of the in-person stuff. I miss in-person scripting because I work on body language as well. Mm-hmm. When I'm scripting, how am I sitting?
You're sitting forward.
Right. Yeah. The back of my chair is quite a bit away from my back. I'm not leaning back.
Wow.
I'm sitting forward. I'm very core tight. It's no different than if I were standing up. So posture is key because I know I can't deliver the same sound and volley in my voice by laying down. This is just too relaxed. So we'll work on some of that too. Scripting is going to be important. Body language is key. And tonality, even if your camera's off. You guys can tell if I'm smiling or not, right? Smile. Hey guys, how are you doing? Happy day. Happy Sunday. How's your day going? right? Yeah, you can definitely tell. So, well, happy Monday, everyone. I want you to take the complex and make it simple. That's what today's all about. Because it's Monday. Monday is a complex day. Tons of stuff going on. All we need to do, make it simple. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Unless you're, vegetarian and vegan and you don't eat elephants, then how do you eat a giant cabbage? How do you eat the world's largest pumpkin? Here you go, one bite at a time. Nothing against that lifestyle. I'm just saying, that's the saying. I know that we have the types in this company that don't eat elephants. I don't eat elephants. So.
Thank you, Dan.
My friends,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if we've said this or not, Ms. Bender has rabbit or cat ears on. So.
Oh. Yeah, that's from having little girls in the house. So yeah, Thank you.
Adorable.
You should have kept it on. It's okay.
Jacob actually is wearing a cat.
Aw, Jacob with the cat on his back.
Aw.
This is why he doesn't have a camera on anymore.
Yeah, he just chills on my shoulder every morning.
Nice.
All right, my friends, go out there, do something great today. Tomorrow, we're going to jump back into some of our objections. So I'd love to hear how your weekends went and what stumbled you or stumped you through the weekend so we can script through it and get you on to bigger and better things. High fives.
Okay, he left.
Bye.
Bye. See you guys at 2:30.